Dear respected Thai, dear respected elders, dear beloved communities, can you hear me well? Yeah, the Vietnamese translation is good. Higher, yeah. Dear beloved community, this is a happy moment. And today is Sunday, April 28, 2024. We are gathered here in the Ocean of Peace Meditation Hall in Tea Park Monastery. Of the great hidden mountain of Escondido. And today's topic will be fear and the journey of healing from fear. My journey to heal my fear. I start a little bit early, 2 minutes, so maybe some of friends on the way to go into the meditation hall. So may we relax and wait for 1 or 2 minutes for our friends. Dear our beloved community, 3 months ago I was asked to give the talk and I said yes. And then few days, 1 month ago, I asked one of my elder sisters for her opinion, what would I talk about? And my elder told me that, can you talk about fear and how to heal your fear? And I said, yes. And do you know what happened after that? The days after, I was so fearful. And I did sit down. So I didn't run away anymore. And I didn't fighting with that feeling of fear. I decided to sit with my fear and to be friend with my fear and to understand my fear. And today, I will show you how I do it. My full Dharma name is Sister Moon over the ancient temple. In Vietnamese called Sister Chua Xua. I was ordained 14 years ago in Thailand, Thai Plum Village. And then the Sangha allowed me to go to New Hamlet in France. I have 8 years and a half stay in France, Plum Village in France. And I was lucky that I spent my early time, my novice time with Thai in New Hamlet, in Low Hamlet, in Upper Hamlet, in Plum Village in France. So I am a lucky nun. And do you have fear? You have. I have too. Yeah, we all have fear. And in Buddhism, Buddha taught us that the Four Noble Truths, that there is suffering in life, and this the way lead to suffering. But also there is happiness in life, and this the path lead to happiness. Today I want to start with happiness. There is happiness in life, and there is the path that lead to happiness. The path that the Buddha showed us right there. My sister Sướng Nghiêm, support me for handwriting. My handwriting not beautiful like that. So the 8 practice of the beautiful path the path that leads us to happiness is the path of right view, right thinking, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right diligence, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So, like I told you that I was a lucky nun, so I stayed in the Sangha for 14 years. So I have good environment, good, good community to practice of the path that lead to happiness. And there was maybe 7 years ago when I was in Low Hamlet. I was a facilitator for the first time in my nun life for the international wake up family in the holiday retreat in the winter. And they were so happy retreat. We have about 25 young wake up, the wake up from 18 to 35 years old. At that time, I also the wake up member. And we first met each other, and we share. The sister in Low Hamlet offer us the big yacht. So the big yacht is our paradise for day and night. We were there for Dharma sharing, for tea, for hanging out, and for support each other on the path of practice. It's so happy, so joyful, a lot of tears, happy tears, and a lot of laugh, a lot of good memories. And for the last day of the retreat, there was a ceremony for 5 mindfulness training, and some of us received 5 mindfulness training. And in the last tea in our family, we sang a lot of songs, we are happy, and in that moment, I was so joyful. That is my first Dharma sharing family that I took care of, and we still keep the contact to support each other in the path of practice. And a flash of a moment, the insight that comes up in me is help me to liberate my suffering. And the first suffering, the first fear that I would like to share is the suffering that I inherited from my grandfather, my mother. So to apply the practice of mindfulness in my daily life, I have fight down my own elements to heal my fear. The first elements that support me for healing my fear is insight. You know, I take refuge in Thai insight. I take refuge in the Buddha insight. I take refuge in my elder brothers and sisters insight to practice, but it's not my insight. So until I got my insight, my own insight to liberate my suffering. So based on that insight, there was a suffering. Yeah, the first one, suffering. The suffering that my grandfather has transmitted to me through my mother. When my mother was 12 years old, she lived with her parent in a village in a very high mountain. Their life was simple but very happy. They were farmers, and all their life in the field, with rice field, in the mountain. My mother had a wonderful garden with jackfruit, banana, sugar cane, a lot of white berries. And her life so wonderful at that time. She was 12 years old. But one day, in the dark sky, a lot of airplanes and bombs for the world. And my grandfather died instantly in front of my grandmother and my mother when she was 12 years old, and her two siblings. My auntie just give to my grandmother just give birth to my auntie and my uncle, and she lost her paradise when she was 12 years old. No more banana, no more sugar cane. She lost her father too. And my grandma lost her husband. And life become difficult. Everything destroyed in the high mountain. No food. People run in many directions to find a way to survive. And my mother at 12 years old, she need to leave her mountain to go to the big city to find work, to earn money, to try to save her life and to send back the money back to the high mountain for my grandma with her younger siblings. So my mother was busy and full of fears, but because of life, she continue. And with the busy time, even though she married my father, she gave birth to me, still, the fear still inside of her a lot. So she transmitted to me fear from my grandpa. At the beginning, I know that I have the fear inside of me. I am the nun that like to ask the question. Thầy Pháp Lưu told me that you stop asking the question. You asking the question too much. One day I asked Thầy Pháp Lưu Father a question that which kind of the positive seeds that your father transmit to you and you transmit to Thầy Pháp Lưu. And the father was so happy with that question. She continue to bring that question to ask another person, another people about my question. So also in the daily life, in the clarity Hamlet, I also would want to ask my sister the question that which kind of the negative seeds that you carry in yourself, and you need to work a lot in your life. Did you recognize it? So some of my sister was the seeds of self-pity. Some of my sister have the seeds of loneliness, need to take care a lot. For my case, the seeds of fear is my big negative seeds that I need to transform. When I first ordained, I didn't know how to transform it, but I have faith in Thầy, and I have faith in the practice. And Thầy taught us that when you have a lot of suffering and you don't know how to transform it, let it there, let it be. You put your heart to cultivate your happiness and to recognize your happiness. And one day, if your happiness bigger, the seeds of mindfulness bigger, so the capacity to embrace the happiness will embrace the suffering, and then your suffering will be liberated. I have faith on Thai teaching and I practice. I have a wonderful monastic life for 14 years and I have a lot of happiness. So the last happiness that bring me the insight to liberate my suffering from my grandfather transmitted was the happy moment in the wake of international family 7 years ago. So after that morning, I feel very light inside of me. I know that in the world, all the men suffer. And then the men will bring the suffer to their wife and to their children and their grandchildren. So that's why, as a non-life, we try to support, to stop the war. But the first war that we should to practice to stop it, the war inside of us. Yeah, we have the seeds of fighting inside of us. So we start with ourselves, in ourselves. So my first elements was the insight. So the insight we can generate by the way we practice mindfulness and concentration. So may I ask you how many of us, this is your first time that you come to Deer Park, you come to Plum Village practice? The first time? Oh, a lot. Very welcome. I'm happy that I am the first one who share with you the practice. Thank you for coming and support. So, like you know, the practice mindfulness and concentration. For those who stay here for 1 week or 2 weeks, we start the mindfulness day from 5 a.m. with the sitting meditation at 5:45 in this hall with the monks and the nuns and all lay friends. And then we have breakfast, eating meditation. And we have walking meditation at 9:39, and then we have sharing. So today we have Dharma sharing after this, and we have eating meditation after Dharma sharing. So for my non-life in the monastery, I practice to cultivate my mindfulness, my concentration through the activity. So if you are first coming today, may you enjoy the practice and may you feel the practice. I love the practice and the practice support me a lot. And may I take one note. So for my practice, I have found 3 elements support me for transform my fear. The first one was insight. And in order to have insight, we cultivate mindfulness and concentration every day, every moment we can. Like this morning when my elder sister, Sister Chuyên Nghiêm, showed us how to do walking meditation. We can do walking meditation to generate mindfulness and concentration. When our mindfulness and concentration big enough, solid enough, the insight will come. So it takes time to enjoy your insight, but also for the first day, you already have insight. That you feel lighter, you feel at ease, more peaceful. You can enjoy a little flower, the small flower everywhere in Deer Park now in spring. So that is insight. So every day I collect my small insight, my little insight, and it becomes bigger, it becomes stronger to support my fear to transform. So at the moment that I have seen the happiness of the wake-up family for last teen being, I told my grandfather, "Dear Grandpa, have you seen my happiness? Have you heard our laughter? Have you experienced for 1 week of happiness we are here? And I know that I am your continuation. And I know that you try to save the life of your wife and the life of your daughter. That's why I am here today. No one wants to hurt me. I am safe here. I am your continuation, my grandpa. Don't worry. Let go of your fear. I am safe." So in that moment, I feel very light and more joyful. And from that, every time when I see my grandfather picture, I saw him smile at me. And my grandma inside of me already freedom. So I wish that in your practice, you enjoy your insight. And if you have insight after the first day to come to monastery, that's the good news. And please write a letter for us to share your insight. And the second one that support me on healing my fear is to love. Maybe we listen one sound, the bell. So, dear friends, how many of us seen that we are in love? Can you raise your hand? We are in love. Thank you. Thank you. There are two kinds of love. One is attachment love, and one is true love. Attachment love is a love that we make each other suffer. And the true love is the love that we make each other happy. How many of us are in attachment love? No one. I am in attachment love a little bit now, but a lot in the past. Do you want the nun share about attachment love? Before my 27 years old, I didn't know anything about Buddhism. I was born not to become a nun. I decided to become a nun, but I'm not was born to become a nun. I didn't know anything about Buddhism, about nun life. So like every young people in the world, I enjoyed my first love when I was 19 years old. is so good. We get along well and not well for 8 years. We are supported from parent too. So for first 4 years, I call it the college love, the love in the university. It's so good. When we had only one bicycle, and my class on left hand, his class on right hand, and he carried me to left hand, and then he get the bicycle to the right hand, and then at the end of the class, he need to go to the left hand to bring me, and then we all go back to the dormitory. We were so hungry. And slowly we have 2 bicycles, and slowly we have 1 motorbike together, and slowly we have 2 motorbikes together. We met each other from 0, and we have a lot after that. He has his own company, and he's a rich man when I left him. So the last 4 years, the second 4 years, I call it the love when we work, when we finish university, and we start to work. He's a businessman, and my education background was sociology. So I work for women, for children, for poor people. So we start to find that he's not belong to me, and I am not belong to him. We was with 2 directions. He would like to have a wife who can let go her own dream to take care of the family, to give to have baby, to have children, and take care of family. Because he's had more than enough money. But I am the one outdoor. I'm not the one for 100% indoor. So after 8 years, I decided to stop. My attachment love were ending when I was 27 years old. And instead, in Vietnamese we call, thay vì xuất giá thì là xuất gia. In Vietnamese we call that, but in English I find a way. Is the good way. Instead of get married, right? I did get married. Is it right? Is it good English? Instead of xuất gia, I xuất gia. But not when I was 27. No, not yet. I need 2 time to check the community, to check the practice, and to check myself. Am I sure that this is the community for my life? Am I sure that this is the way that I want to be in my life? Am I sure that I fit with this community? Am I sure that the community allow me to join? So I need to did aspirant time. Yeah, everybody would like to become monastic in this tradition. In every tradition, we need to spend the aspirant time. And you know that Sister Spirit today, who translate into Vietnamese for my talk, is my elder sister at that time to interview me. to become monastic. And I'm sure she may not remember the question that she asked me, but I still remember. Because if I don't answer good, I was not allowed to be aspirant. So the question is, if in the future, if your family needs you, will you come back for the couple life, for the family life? Wow. I answer, no. I spent my 2 years to learn about this tradition. I spent 2 years of my youth life, from my 27 to 29, to understand Thai, to understand the path of the Sangha, the community, the practice. And I know this is the way my blood family need to support. But I need to experience myself first. Because if you want to give money, but you don't have money, how can we give? So I would like to offer my family non-fear. I would like to offer my family peace, happiness. But at that moment, I have very little. So I need to experience myself. So I answer very confident, no circle. I will not return. I will go straight. Luckily, she said yes. That's why I am here. And today, I asked for her support to translate the talk into Vietnamese, because she has a very gentle energy, very kind energy. And that kind of energy I call true love. Okay, get married? No, get married. I have a story with Thai about true love. I will share with you. This is my first time to share that, because this is my first Dharma talk on mindfulness day too. So I will share something very special. When I was novice in New Hamlet, I was assigned to work in the website, Vietnamese website, with my elder sister. And I only worked for 3 weeks. And after that, I gave up. We had a problem between myself and my elder sister. We cannot work together. So I gave up. And somehow Thầy heard about that. Thầy called me to Hermitage, come. And I was there. At that moment, I was very young in the practice. My 3 years, I think so, 3 years or 4 years. They look at me with the very serious eyes. You and your elder sister, who is wrong? Why you give up? You know, at that moment, if you are in front of the Zen master, your mind consciousness stop working. But your store consciousness will work. And at that moment, I blurt out, dear Thầy, because of fear. And then tear came out, and I cried so hard. Thầy let me cry for 5 minutes. And then Thầy asked me with a very gentle voice, what is your fear? What is your fear? I have a wrong perception at that moment. I keep in myself very long. You know, if we keep something wrong perception inside of us, if we keep it long, we will suffer. So I suffer. I have a wrong perception that at that time in Vietnam, there are some people who will come to the family of the monastic to ask with to tell the family member that call your daughter back, call your son back, don't follow, don't to become a nun, don't to become a monk. So I don't want that energy go to my blood family. That's why I have difficult to write article. So for 3 weeks, my elder every day come to the office and say, today you need to write the article, okay? And then I deal with my fear, wrong perception inside of me. And then after 3 weeks, I was so fearful. I could not write any article and I give up. And you know, when I answer with Thầy, that Thầy asked me and I answer that because I don't want the people in Vietnam know that I am your disciple. And then the people will come to my blood family and told the wrong perception about my nun life. And at that moment, there was some Thai attendants around us, and I cried non-stop. It's like you can open the door of fear. And we all breathe at that moment. And Thầy let me cry, I think 5 more minutes. And then, do you know how the silent word broken? It's a legendary moment for my life. That Thầy voice very kind, very gentle. Dear my child, of all the world, all the teacher in the world, thank you that you chose me to be your teacher. Trong tiếng Việt nó là vậy nè. Thầy cảm ơn con vì trong những người thầy dạy đạo ở trên thế giới này, con chọn thầy làm thầy của con. At that moment, I never forget that moment. That I couldn't embrace my fear, but Thầy embraced my fear. Thầy show me true love. Thầy show me the way out. They give me strength to see the reality, to dare to stay in the present moment. But inside of me at that moment, I wish that the floor had a hole, and I cried like that. You know, I didn't do anything pay back for Thầy at that moment. Thầy welcomed me to his community. Thầy gave me 3 meals a day, a safe place to live, and very good brother and sister to take refuge and to learn. And Thầy healed my fear, my life. And now Thầy said, thank you that you chose me to be your teacher. That is the true love. The love with less condition. The love with non-attachment. That love liberated me. So I call that true love. We need true love to grow up and to mature in the life, to be happy. So stay in clarity, Hamlet, with foreigners. Now is the golden time. We build siblinghood, we build sisterhood. Last Friday, we have the activity very special between the Dharma teacher sister and the Bhikshuni and novice sister together. But between the Dharma teacher sister, we call how to sensitive. We share. And that sharing gives me a lot of hope and happiness. And I answer with myself that I have chosen right community. In this community, I can get old, I can get sick, and I can die. I found that I love my monastic sibling more than my blood brothers and sisters. I have two, one elder, one younger. But I love the monastic sibling more than my blood brother and sister, because the monastic sibling who understand my wish, who understand my fear, who understand my happiness, who support me in the way of the nun life. That's called true love. So if you want to love, you find the community. We have a lot of community around the world, on life and offline. And the third element is the practice of touching the earth. When I end attachment love, I leave my attachment love after 8 years. I am happy, I was happy, but also I will suffer. Because in the relationship, in the attachment love, we create some suffering between each other, some fear. So at the beginning, when I practice, I pick the practice of touching the earth to liberate my negative feeling, and it is worked very well. Some of us pick the walking meditation, some of us love the sitting meditation, some of us love the eating meditation or total relaxation. But for my case, I pick the touching of the earth. If you enjoy the tea park today, you will see the Mother Earth here so beautiful. We respect Mother Earth here. So coyote, happy coyote. And some snail, happy snail. You know, in the early morning when the sister did sitting meditation here and we're on the way to go back to the nunnery, we saw a lot of snail go from this shore to another shore. And you know what did the nun do? They picked the snail back to other shore. But halfway to go to another shore. But no, the snail go back. Do you know why? Because the nun knows that this shore have more food, and another shore, no food. If you walk down, you will see the campground and the Sangha garden. In the Sangha garden, we have a lot of flower, fresh grass, then the snail can survive. So that is the true love between the sister and the snail. So when my first 3 years of a nun, I practiced touching the earth often, every day. After the Sangha schedule, we do sitting and chanting. So a lot of novices, we stay behind in the meditation hall, and we do touching the earth by our own. And also we do with the Sangha too. So may I show you how to practice touching of the earth? Yeah. So all the practice in Plum Village, in order to do two things. The first is letting go of the suffering. And the second is generating happiness. So for the touching of the earth, I did to letting go of my fear and cultivate of my non-fear, the seed of non-fear. So for touching of the earth, we can start with this position and enjoy our palms, like our body and our mind together, in the here, in the now. And if we want to letting go, practice letting go, we practice letting go. If we want to practice cultivate happiness, non-fear, we cultivate happiness and non-fear. So when we hear the wake-up sound of the bell, we slowly raise our hand up in front of our forehead, like practice of right thinking. And slowly through our mouth, it right speech. And then to our heart, right action. And slowly down to the earth, kneel down, and slowly open our hand to open with Mother Earth, that Mother Earth, I'm here. All my mind and my body here openly with Mother Earth. Within the position of touching the earth, we are like a baby in the mother. And now we are the baby in Mother Earth. And we let go the negative energy. So every time when I have negative feeling, I did touching the earth to let the negative energy through to the earth, ask the earth to embrace for me. And then when I have happiness, I also do touching of the earth to send the earth my happiness. So don't only send Mother Earth negative thinking, negative feeling. Send Mother Earth your happiness, your positive feeling. Here, the monks and nuns send the earth everything. That's why they are so beautiful here. So now my brother will invite one sound of the bell, and I will practice one touching of the earth. We take 3 breaths in the here and now. Breathing in, I know that I am here for myself. Breathing out, I know that I am here for myself. I want to letting go of my negative thinking, negative feeling. And you know that when I am happy, I do touching the earth to send gratitude to our ancestor, our Thai, and our sibling, monastic sibling. And also send gratitude to my father, my mother, my blood elder sister, and blood younger brother to take care of my parents at home so I can have my non-life feeling to support the people around the world. So for the touching of the earth, we can letting go of negative thinking, and also we can generate the happiness feeling. So may I introduce you the book of Touching of the Earth? This is the old version, the new version with the red color. But this is the old version, but the same, it's different color. So if you want to learn about touching of the earth and to understand about the touching of the earth, you can find this book in the bookstore after lunch. And if you like the story of nuns, we have a lot of story of nuns. I wish that before my visa ending, I can have support for the book for the nun life in clarity. In clarity, we have a lot of special nuns. You know, I need 3 days and nights to share about the story in clarity nuns. But this is a book called Two Virtue. This is a book by Sister Chân Đức. She's our second eldest nun in our tradition. The book called The Journey of an English Buddhist Nun. Sister Annabelle Lady. And she's now in Plum Village in France, in New Hamlet, Low Hamlet, in Hermitage. And if you want to enjoy a life of a nun, life of monastic, you can have this. You know that I start to read this book from the end to beginning, because I would like to learn how the monastic life of my elders is so good. A lot of story about Thai, about her. We learn a lot from my second eldest sister, Sister Two Virtue, Sư Chân Đức. She taught us a lot how to be a good Dharma teacher, sister, how to be a good nun. This is her picture. If you met her, you will see her energy very peaceful. And this is my bedside book. Every night I read a little bit before I go to sleep, so I sleep very well. I think that's all I have today. So for myself, for my practice, I cultivate my insight every day. I cultivate my true love with my monastic sibling every day. And I cultivate the practice of touching of the earth every day. So if your body health not allow you to do touching of the earth like me, you can do sitting, you can do walking, you can do eating. Yeah, every practice to support, yeah, is the same. But touching is the earth is delicious practice. So, dear beloved community, I learned to share in your language. I know that my English is not perfect. I did some wrong grammar too. But thank you for supporting, thank you for coming, and thank you for practice with us. So we will enjoy 3 sounds of the bell to end the Dharma talk today. Thank you.